Hello. I can't stream today, so I'm recording a few updates. Things which I think are noteworthy. Just a few hours ago, the Ukrainian ambassador to the United Nations, who has, at least to my account so far, been a bit of a giga chad, he shared some text messages that were found allegedly on the phone of a dead Russian soldier, one who died, of course, invading Ukraine. And as much as I would like to show you the recording of him reading the contents out loud, honestly, his delivery of the account makes it a little bit difficult to understand what the content of the text messages are. So instead, I'll tell you myself. This was translated. Translation is broadly known. I didn't translate it myself, of course, but basically, it's a text message with the Russian soldier's mother. She asks where he is, why hasn't he responded? There's a package we want to send you, She thinks that the soldier is in training, camp. But the soldier responds that he's not, actually, that he's, and I imagine this is said rather emphatically, in a not necessarily a sarcastic, but at least hyperbolic sense. Yeah, I want to kill myself. The mother asks, what's up, what's happening? And the soldier responds, translated roughly, Mom, I'm in Ukraine. Here we have real war. We're attacking everyone, even civilians. They told us they would meet us with flowers, but they block our forces and don't let us go further. They call us fascists. Mom, it's really hard here. And the soldier is now, of course, dead. Now, I'm sharing this with you in spite of the fact that I can't verify it. There's absolutely no way for me to verify something like this. It was considered worthy enough of sharing that even the Ukrainian ambassador to the United Nations shared it, but that doesn't mean it couldn't possibly be propaganda or a fabrication from a lower-level soldier just trying to spread pro-Ukrainian messaging as far and wide as possible. The reason I'm sharing it is because even though I can't verify the messages themselves, the content of them is consistent with other information we can verify, that captured or surrendered or deserted Russian soldiers are making it pretty clear that a lot of these kids were like conscripted and weren't even told that they were going to be invading Ukraine. They were told they were on training exercises. And then they were just, oh, live combat, have fun. We know the Russian people were lied to about the situation in Ukraine because the Russian line has been the denazification of Ukraine, that they're reuniting with the Ukrainian people. Ukraine is really a part of Russia that's just been controlled by Western-backed Nazis, and the soldiers would be welcomed and so on and so on. So I can't validate or verify this specific account, but the sentiment behind it is, as far as I'm concerned, as close to empirically proven as one can get. And it's heartbreaking to think about, and it's the reason why, the Russian soldiers that are invading Ukraine are also victims of this invasion. They don't want to be there, They have been lied to by their government. They're being sent in clearly with no logistical support, with poor equipment, with virtually no morale to accomplish goals that have clearly been either unrealistically or unclearly laid out. Things are not going well for them. And, there have been protests from mothers in Russia saying, like, they didn't know their kids, their sons, were going off to war. It's incredibly morose, to think of that. I celebrate, Ukrainian victories over Russian soldiers when they kill or when they capture, only insofar as it is to aid the defense of Ukraine, not because I hold any ill will towards the Russian soldiers themselves. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that some of them are big assholes. That's not to say I'm sure some of them are quite terrible people, but as a whole, as a group, they are victims. They've been lied to by the regime. I want people to know that. I want people to understand that, because the last thing that I want people to do is essentialize this conflict to reflect the essentialist, ethno-nationalist values that have led Russia down the path that it's taken, or I should say the Russian government, to do so in a way which ends up causing these problems over and over again, generation to generation. The problem is not the Russian people. It's not even Russia, really. It's the Russian government. It's Putin. And hopefully everyone understands this, not only because I think that it's the proper humanitarian thing to do and to believe, but also because the more the people of Russia understand this, the more they realize that the pro-Russian people sentiment here is for Russia to lose the war in Ukraine. To lose as in they leave, to abandon this conflict, to recognize that all this death and destruction is a product of the failed imperialist ambitions of their leader, Vladimir Putin. If they can accept that, if they can work on that, then, well, then maybe we'll all be a little bit better off. The main thing that I really want to avoid is stuff like this, In Washington, hey, unidentified people smashed the Russian restaurant Russia House, broke the windows, and tore off the Russian flag. Now, I'm sure I don't need to give you some detailed political explanation for why this is incredibly stupid, like Vladimir Putin starts a war, therefore all people of Russian ethnicity are bad, therefore all places that serve Russian food. Okay, it makes about as much sense as like the attacks that were done against Chinese people after COVID broke out. It's utterly meaningless. And unfortunately, this kind of innate tribalism, this desire to essentialize the badness of other groups, it seems to be kind of just a faulty product of the human condition to an extent, whether it's done along national or ethnic or racial or religious lines. That tribalistic impulse seems to be a thing that crops up naturally unless actively combated. But the fact that it's a natural impulse, that doesn't mean it's justified or that it's inevitable. There are plenty of natural impulses humans have. We used to just shit in bushes. And now most of us shit in toilets, Massive upgrade there, at least as far as I'm concerned. We can overcome that. I believe, anyone can, and it's really just a matter of how much propagandizing anti-education they have to work through. And maybe Russia has more to work through than Americans do. They are a relatively far-right country, but no group of people is innately far-right. Except for right-handed people. Stupid joke. Sorry. I'm pretty tired. Yeah. I don't know whether or not those text messages from the Russian soldier are real or fabricated, but I know the sentiment that they reflect is real. They're merely being concentrated into a particular exchange. I know that Russian mothers are worried for Russian sons who were sent off to the Ukrainian front without proper warning, training, logistical planning, who are now dying for a war which does not benefit them. All of those things are true. And I'm sure a lot of Russian soldiers are having a bit of a crisis of faith right now, as the reality they're reckoning with in Ukraine contradicts the doctrinal, propagandizing, oh, you will be welcomed as the denazification heroes of Ukraine rhetoric they were no doubt given at many points throughout their life prior to the actual invasion. So hopefully things end soon. And then all the Russian soldiers can go home and they can play Dota 2 and flame people and get banned. Or, whatever Russian 18-year-old boys like doing. They can play CSGO with 600 ping and still beat me. That's what they should be doing. One hopes.